What's going on, everybody? Ron Murray here today with an interview. You know what time it is. NFL draft time is right around the corner. And you know, there's so many prospects that are getting ready so they can hit that field at the next level. And with me, I have 2022 NFL draft prospect, local hometown boy, linebacker out of SMU, Delano Robinson. Delano, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How you doing? Thank you for having me today.
No, thank you. I know it's a lot of busy time right now. You're getting ready to go to that next level. So before we get into the draft talk, we have to talk about the story of getting there. You growing up in Denton, playing for the historic Billy Ryan High School. Just talk about how that was out there.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal experience to go through. Phenomenal, like you said, Billy Ryan High School. Grew up in Denton, so it was all talks. There's three Denton top high schools here, so we got Denton High, Denton Guyer, and of course Denton Ryan. And I grew up a Raider. Family, friends, older people went to Ryan, so it was just a continuing stepping stone for me, to go up there and just finish the tradition that they have up there. It was a great experience. Had a great time there. Learned from great coaches. Dave Hennigan was my head coach, and Shane Tollison was my position coach. So it was a great experience.
How much would you say playing at a program like that, always in state championship games, deep playoff runs, how much did that prepare for you getting ready to play at the next level when you committed to SMU?
I think it played a big part. Like I said, with Shane Tollison being my position coach, he, always harped on, working hard and being the best, never settling for average. And that's something that we learned early when we were freshmen coming in. Just average won't be tolerated, and we always want to go above and beyond of what we're expected to do. And just with that mindset and growing mindset, just when I transitioned to college, that helped me just knowing that, I'm not here for average. I'm here to, prosper above each and every goal.
So segueing into that, you chose SMU, you decided to stay home. You were part of, to me, one of the greatest campaigns in college sports history, the whole Triple D movement, Pony Up DFW. You had your own billboard out there off I-35. So just talk about choosing SMU, your experience there, and really just that whole campaign to really put on for the whole Metroplex.
Yeah, that process was, of course, as a high school prospect getting looked at by different colleges, you kind of like, I don't know where to go, but SMU just felt like home. It was right here in Dallas, Texas, not too far from, Denton. And it was a place where, I could have my family come out and watch me anytime, or family can come out and visit me anytime they needed to. Another thing is before just the football aspect of it, the education there was a great opportunity for me. My family, were big on education, getting the best opportunity that we can to prosper, outside of just football. And SMU is known for the education, very, very well-known school, and the alumni group there is just tremendous. But as far as the football aspect, I wanted to be part of something where I could make a change to a program. During that time, SMU wasn't really, after the death penalty, kind of had their ups and downs, and I wanted to go somewhere where I could make an impact and be a change for a community. Of course, I was recruited by Chad Morris, who's no longer the head coach there now, but that's the group that I came with. And, ever since I was a freshman, I always wanted to, make a change and impact to that team. And, I'm sure, once he left, we got Sonny Dykes, and that's kind of when we started to get rolling. And at first, as a freshman, you just don't know, you're told certain things. You're like, man, my coach is gone. I don't know how it's going to go. But as soon as Sonny Dykes came in, he made it feel just like home, and we got the ball rolling. And my experience was amazing. Turning that program around was, exactly what we wanted. And I think for me, just to be a part of that, especially when we were at a low point where we weren't winning games and weren't going to bowl games, to transition to, being top rank and being Dallas's team, that was a great feeling just to be a part of that. And just with the billboard thing that, we did, it was a blessing to just have a billboard in my town. Something that we did is at the Born and Raised. And I think that was opportunity to show, people who grew up in Denton to just, have faith and just know that anything is possible as long as you work hard and, keep God first and do you and be yourself. You can achieve any goal that you put your mind to. And I think that's what I wanted to use my billboard for, just to show the youth that, hey, I'm from the same place that you're from. So I'm doing it. there's no reason why you can't do it as well.
So how was it when you first saw the billboard? Because I know the news of you getting a billboard versus you first seeing it. How was it when you first saw the billboard?
So at first, I didn't even like, once they put the billboard up, they didn't tell me. So I remember my mom, she was driving one day and I just got a call and she was just screaming. And I was like, what's going on? Because usually when your mom calls you and they're screaming, you're like,
Right.
something happened. You're like, man, what's going on? And she was just like, I can't believe I see my baby on the billboard. I'm just like, they already put it up? And she's like, yep. So then it's like, she's big on Facebook. So like everybody on Facebook's commenting, posting it, saying, your son's on the billboard right there on 75. Like, I'm just like, man, this is crazy. And I haven't even seen it yet. So once I, got the chance to get out there to go see it, it was like a surreal moment. At first it didn't feel real because, as a kid growing up, of course you have aspirations of playing in the league and going to college and being a big time player. But when you have that billboard, it's like, man, it's like another stepping stone for you, something that keeps you motivated and keeps you going. And just seeing that, it really like, it was like an emotional state for me because it was like, really like, this is something that, I've strived for. I've worked so hard. I've put in the time, put in hours, and just to see that, it's a proven testimony to just the hard work that you put in and things that you can gain from your hard work.
And to the point you made about people from your city, from your area seeing you on the billboard, that's what I love the most about the Born and Raised campaign, because it did plant a lot of seeds for a lot of these kids, especially when there was the stigma of where I could never get into a school like SMU. But then when you see people that you grew up with, people that have been around you, you all are planting that seeds and really uplifted so many people with that campaign. And when someone looks at your SMU career, because you are a linebacker, but you can play some safety as well, correct? Like you're very versatile, correct? So when someone looks at your SMU career, what games would you say pop out the most when you look at Delano Robinson, the linebacker, this is what you're getting? What games would you say stand out the most at your SMU career?
So I'll go straight to, 2019 year. That was a breakout year for us. You can really, to be honest, you can go to any game and that's what you're going to get. But for the Pacifics, I'll go straight to the TCU game. That was a big game for us. And just looking at that game, the physicality that I brought to that game, also getting a game breaking up pass, that was a big stepping stone, just, in becoming a ranked team. And then also, if you go look at that college game day game against Memphis, the physicality that I brought there, it didn't go our way, unfortunately, but just still just the competitiveness that I brought to the game and just things of that nature, I think. And then just going to the season that I just played, if you go look at just a lot of games, the Tulsa game and then the Memphis game again, and then one game I like to bring up a lot is the Navy game, because Navy runs a different type of offense and it's more based off of physicality. And that's a game where I get to show, my physicality. They do a lot of cut blocks, different type of direction, just stuff like that. And I think, that game shows a person's, IQ, awareness, and physicality.
Okay, so how has it been so far, just the journey? Because you're almost there. You're knocking on the door of your dream, being in the NFL. So how has the journey been so far? Just the season's over, preparing for the NFL draft. How has that been? Who are you been training with, and how's your regiment been so far?
So the journey, it's been a good journey. I think more so the point of just, kind of taking a step back and relaxing, not getting too stressed or overwhelmed about the moment. I think that's something that I've been, keeping myself good on, just kind of, relaxing and just not trying to rush everything or worry about what's going on here and what's going on there. I'm currently training out in Prosper, Texas, at a facility called Built Ford Athletics. And shout out to my trainer, Chico. He does a phenomenal job. There's a lot of NFL players that, go in and out of that program. And just to be around those type of guys, I'm getting wisdom every day that I'm there. And, they're just teaching me just little small bits about the game, and just I'm soaking up so much knowledge there and still, training around them. And, that pushes me to get better, because if I'm training with guys who are already there, it's pushing me to continue to like, hey, these guys are doing it. I'm doing it with them. Like, we're just getting in the flow.
I think that's one of the great things about the Metroplex is that there are so many places to train, and there are so many professionals that are able to do that. So were not invited to the combine, but you definitely had the opportunity to show your stuff at the pro day. So how do you feel you did at the pro day? And did you feel that you have to show even more because you were not invited to the combine? How was that?
Overall, I think I did pretty good on the pro day. I think something that was a question for me with the scouts was, how good could I move as far as mobility, flexibility, and being fluid in my movements. And I think, I was able to show that to the scouts, especially once we got to the drill work, just being able to show them how well I can move in space. I think I proved that question to them. And I do think, when you don't get invited to the combine, you do kind of have to, do a little more, outside of that, because, you may not be looked the same just because somebody's at the come up. I think the pro day gives you a great opportunity just to show scouts, what you can do, just things that they missed that, they didn't see because you weren't at the combine.
Okay, and so with that being said, how would you describe yourself? Because you're a versatile linebacker, and of course, we see how the NFL goes, where linebackers aren't necessarily as big as they were once before in the '90s and the early 2000s. So, how would Delano Robinson describe himself as his linebacker archetype? How would you describe that?
So overall, I would say primarily run stopper, somebody who's aggressive, somebody who, is physical at the point of contact, somebody who doesn't shy away from, blockers, pullers, because the league is very physical. You have to be able to, maneuver around and get to the tackle, get to the running back as quick as possible. And I think another thing is I played through, I've had three different types of defensive staff. So I've had three different playbooks. I've played through pretty much every single defensive scheme. And I've played outside linebacker, I've played DN, I've played linebacker, just the versatile there, just being able in different type of systems has prepared me to just be the person I am today. And I do have that ability, to get out in coverage. There's plenty of, tape on that, me getting pass deflections, interceptions, just things like that.
So having so many different coordinators, would you say it was more so a challenge or it was more so not so much a challenge? Because some people look at it, it's a change each time, but some people look at it as an opportunity to retain information. Do you look at it as a space of retaining information versus a challenge having so many different coordinators, or how was that?
I look at it as a thing of retaining information. The way that I took it, getting a new staff, I treat it just like the NFL. When you go to a different team, you only have so much amount of time to learn that playbook, just so you can get to play on Sunday. And that's a great thing that my coaches were harp on. It's just like, hey, if I had a guy come in Tuesday, I have to have him ready for Sunday. And it's just the same mindset that you have in college when you have a new staff coming in for that spring. You got to get the ball rolling, and I think that just helped me and be able to adapt easily. Just like when I'm in the NFL and things like that happen, it'd be an easy transition for me because I've already been through something like that.
Okay, I definitely want to say big congratulations to you. You've graduated with your undergrad degree. You're on your way to getting your master's degree. So I definitely want to salute you with that, because I definitely hate it when so many of these student athletes, they go out to college, they expire their eligibility, then they come away with nothing. So I definitely want to salute you for your graduation, getting ready to get your master's degree. And that leads me to my next question. What motivates you through all of this, from the Pop Warner ball through the Denton Ryan days to SMU to right now you're knocking on the door to the NFL? What's been motivating you, and who's really just been your village through this time?
My family, just everybody, to my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my brother, even my girlfriend, just, my family, the strong support system that I have around me, just they motivate me each and every day just by pushing me and keeping me, in the right frame of mindset. And I think when you have a great group of people around you who are, there for you and not just, what there for the thing that you can do, I think that's a big thing. And I'm grateful to have them. They're always, helping me out, and they stay on me. They're very positive, but they also tell me the truth. So if there's things I need to work on, they let me know that as well.
Okay, so here's my final question. Final week of April, we all know what time it is. When the team calls Delano Robinson's name at linebacker, let these NFL teams know what they're going to get, what you're bringing to the field, to the locker room, to the community when they select you.
So you're getting a person who loves the game, very passionate for the game, somebody who's hardworking and never settles for average, somebody who's going to go above and beyond of what they're told and asked to do. You're getting somebody who is a leader. I was a captain for 2 years. Somebody who knows how to take on a leadership role if needed to. You're also getting somebody who just wants to be around the team, somebody who you don't have to worry about off the field issues, somebody who's, focused in and not worried about, you don't have to worry about, oh, is he going to get in trouble, this and that, somebody who's laser focused on his job. And again, somebody full of energy, somebody who knows, ready to learn, always ready to learn and soaking up as much knowledge as possible, always looking to get better, and somebody who loves the game and just ready to play.
Delano, we wishing you the best. We're going to support you. I appreciate your time today. Linebacker from SMU, 2022 NFL draft prospect, Delano Robinson Jr. Thank you so much again for joining me, man.
Thank you very much.